The extent of greening and density in Tokyo is shockingly enormous, seeing a massive, diverse, high-rise city with regard to built form. Tokyo is a polycentric city with many sub-centers, such as Shibuya, which are equivalent or larger than the single center in Perth. These centers are facilitated by transit-oriented developments around the extensive train stations of the rail network. Residential areas in Tokyo are extremely dense, usually in the form of apartments. Tiny setbacks have contributed to this density and have created many narrow shared spaces between drivers, cyclists, and cars. The inheritance tax in Tokyo has seen substantial residential subdivision through tax on inherited land, making that land unaffordable in some cases. Whoever inherits that land, therefore, may not be able to afford it and have to sell it to developers who subdivide the land into more apartments. Extensive green corridors emanating from the ocean dominate Tokyo. These are facilitated by a policy requiring 30% of development faces to be greened. Tokyo is characterized by high-rise sub-centers with many different heights due to transferable land rights. Constant earthquakes have facilitated strict height guidelines, seeing Tokyo buildings relatively short internationally. Therefore, when a developer doesn't build to their allowable height, they have the opportunity to sell that foregone height to other developers, who can then build that same height above the imposed restrictions. The higher buildings are often located near wider roads to allow access to fight fires. Shibuya is an example of a center with a diverse height range among high-rise buildings. Shibuya also emphasizes the vast and bright advertising that occurs in Tokyo's sub-centers, often to advocate the retail land uses that compose Shibuya. Le Corbusier's theory of the radial city has been applied to the urban form of precincts in Tokyo. In particular, the Marunouchi area has utilized such principles of vertical floor space through high-rise, with large open space between buildings to provide significant public realms and the potential of art.
The streetscape of Tokyo is a mixed cultural combination of Western and traditional Japanese design and character. Visual, animated, and inanimated objects identify street character, history, and attraction point. For example, like building, retail shop, light post, vehicle, scale, advertisement, environment, and age. Shibuya street advertisement signage creates a colorful visual for the place. Mixture of media and audio with advertisement from the retail shop gives strong attraction point to locals and tourists to visit Shibuya. Mixture in culture of building design can be often seen in most streets, hinting of Japanese people being able to accept different culture, yet they are able to maintain the Japan tradition, which is interesting. It is possible that a new trend is arising, that is the mix of other culture with Japanese tradition. Lack of open space for greenery in small streets does not seem to be an issue, as local residents place potted plants in front of their houses, introducing greenery to the streetscape. High level of blind spot risk safety and security apparent inside street, but the use of mirror seems to work as accident appear to be uncommon in such area.
There are many different activities happening in Tokyo at both day and night. Various activities are present in all sub-centres and cater for all demographics and tourists. Sub-centres include Roppongi Hills, Shibuya, Marunouchi, Ginza, Shinjuku, and Harajuku. These areas all have a different focus and appeal. Examples of activities in the day include shopping, places to eat, places for youth to congregate, museums, building observatories, day markets, onsens, and hot springs. Examples of activities at night include places to drink, such as Jumanji 55 Bar, shopping till 10 or 10:30 p.m, all you can eat, drink and meal deals which are appealing for large groups, street activities such as busking and entertainment, especially near the Shibuya train station, night markets, karaoke and gaming centres for youth. Night activities are encouraged by the extensive public transport system in Tokyo, which runs from 5 a.m. till 12 p.m. These activities work very well in Tokyo, as there are many people to stimulate every activity. In a place such as Perth, there is a small population, which means that having a large variety of activities running day and night would not be feasible for business owners. Late night public transport would not work in Perth, as there is not many sub-centres and there is not a large enough population to stimulate the cost of running frequent trains and buses after hours. The attitude of the Japanese is also very different to Australians. The Japanese are very disciplined people, and you rarely see police on the street at night breaking up violence. In Perth night spots, such as the CBD and Northridge, police are commonly seen breaking up arguments due to alcohol consumption.
Tokyo's movement network is extremely effective and efficient, with majority of residents travelling via public transport, along with high rates of walking and cycling. Not many residents own a car, as using public transport is more efficient. As well as this, vehicle ownership is expensive. Numerous train stations are located within the metropolitan area, and it was shocking to discover how the ownership of train line varies throughout the city. For example, there are railways owned by private companies, and this varies largely from Perth, as in Perth, all public transport is government run. Another notable feature is that the distance in which houses are located from the train lines is very minimal. Tokyo has very high levels of pedestrian activity, particularly around the Shibuya area. There is a large focus on pedestrian crossings, which are integrated with cycling lanes. As well as this, shared space is a large concept employed throughout the city. The level of shared space varies depending upon the area. The most common example is in the smaller suburban streets where roads are shared between pedestrians, cyclists and vehicle users. This concept of shared space would not be as effective within the Perth CBD and surrounding suburbs due to Perth's high car dependency, as well as the overall attitudes and behaviours of Perth residents.
Sustainability. Harmony between people and nature is heavily emphasised, highlighting the waterfront and treasuring green spaces. The key 5 aspects of sustainability look at urban space, environment, traffic, risk management and recycling. Shibuya, likewise to the wider area of Tokyo, have demonstrated this through openness, interactive spaces and improving movement networks, all at a much higher extent than Perth. Collaboration. A people-driven community. I was completely shocked and unaware of the importance and patience by both government and private developers in achieving consensus planning, as discussed by Tokyo Corporation Redevelopment. This achievement should ideally be available in English literature to help achieve a higher level of both participation and collaboration internationally. Other theories include new urbanism, where development in Tokyo has been dense, utilising pedestrian networks to deter car movement. More specifically, transport-orientated developments, as seen all across Tokyo with substantial developments on the top of train stations. These designs occurring prior to the exploration in literature. Prevention planning. Given Japan's unique features and its physical environment heavily influenced by natural forces, Tokyo has adopted a process of prevention planning, ensuring preparedness and sustainability of such an event. These measures commonly prepare for the survival of 72 hours and include water supplies under buildings, non-perishable food and the like.